Hey geeks, it's Minx, and it's time for our second Game of Thrones review. That's right, it's episode 2 of season 6, aired on Sunday. If you haven't seen it, don't watch this video unless you really want to be spoiled, because I'm going to be digging into just about everything, because this episode was jam-packed with awesome. Alright, so we start off with our first green sight vision. It was a flashback into the past using Bran and the three during his training with the Three-Eyed Raven. We get to see a young Ned sparring with Benjen, and then we get to see our first glimpse of teenage Lyanna. The only thing that I didn't like about this was the fact that the actress who was playing Lyanna looked way, way older than the actor playing Ned, and we know from the books that Ned is older than Lyanna. I hope that's not something they're changing, even if it's out of necessity, because I always like the fact that him being her older brother kind of looked out for her, kind of a thing, even though she can obviously hang by herself. We also get to see a young Hodor and find out that his name was actually Willis. In the books, his name was actually Walder, but screw that. I don't want him any way associated with the phrase. So I'm okay with Willis. And we learned that he could actually talk like a normal kid, so obviously something happened to him that would cause him to be Hodor. So that was a great way to start off. I thought that was crazy awesome. When we go to King's Landing, we see that Franken Mountain is out on the prowl for anyone bad-mouthing the queen, and ends up catching a drunken guy who ends up pissing on him, and he just kind of stiff-arms him right into the wall. So I have to admit, I actually giggled at that point, because that was just kind of funny. Just kind of, dude's just peeing on him, looking way, way up, and then of course the guy's skull smashes into the wall and he dead. And then we come to find out Cersei has been banned by Tommen to even go to the funeral of her dead daughter, of which she is entirely pissed off about. But she can't really go against the king in this case because he's just looking out for her. Jaime has a conversation with Tommen, and pretty much talks him into, go talk to your mother, you know. The High Sparrow comes in right as Tommen's leaving and has a little discussion with Jaime, and you get to see Jaime's absolute murder face, ready to just cut him down because he's pissing him off so much. But he maintains control of himself somehow, and we go forward from there. We also get to see Tyrion. Oh, Tyrion. We get to see the great bit from the trailer where he says, I drink and I know things. And then we also get to see him crawling down into the crypts beneath the pyramid to free the dragons, so to speak. Thankfully, he does not get turned into extra crispy. He manages to talk and soothe the dragons, especially Rhaegal, because that was the first one he unhooked, the green dragon. And then Viserion's like, hey, let me get in on this, and like just kind of bares his neck so that he can unchain him. And then he walks his happy butt as quickly as possible up the stairs and gives us our line of the episode. He looks at Varys and says, if I ever get an idea like this again, punch me in the face. That was funny. I lost my shit. It was great. We also get to see a little bit more of Arya getting beaten by the waif with sticks and trying to stick fight in the middle of Braavos before Jaqen comes to find her and leads her back to the temple. So obviously she's going to continue more of her training, but in a more controlled manner instead of out in public. She served the first part of her penance, so to speak. So now we're gonna go to Winterfell. We're slowly creeping north, everybody. We're gonna go to Winterfell and the craziness that is Ramsay. We get the announcement that Walda has had a son, so she has given Roose Bolton a spare, just in case Ramsay fails. Ramsay doesn't like the idea of that, and especially when his dad makes the comments of, if you're going to act like a mad dog, you'll be put down like a mad dog. Uh, and then he embraces him and is like, "You'll always be my firstborn." And shoink! He, of course, gets stabbed by Ramsay. Ramsay straight up tells everybody, as far as anyone else knows, he was poisoned by our enemies. That's the only thing that will get out. And then he ends up feeding Walda and the baby, his brand new little brother, to the dogs. It's pretty in line with how Ramsay's character is. So I mean, it's not that surprising. I think it would have actually been more surprising had he taken the his little brother and raised him as his own. Pretty much like, no, this is the heir that Sansa bore me. I can't leave Winterfell now. But unfortunately, Ramsay's not that smart. Um, so from there, we go over to Sansa, talking to Brienne, learning that her sister Arya is likely still alive and being a tough little squirt, not dressing like a chick and all of that, and gives her a little bit of joy before they continue on their way. So that was exciting. And now, what are we waiting for? We go up to the wall, and we have Davos talking Melisandre into trying to bring Jon Snow back. She does it somewhat reluctantly, and the one thing I really liked, and it was done pretty much without words. It was very well acted out facially, and with body language. Every sweep of her hands as she cleans the blood off of his body, and she's saying these ancient words. Every pass, she just seems to look more and more downtrodden, just more and more like she doesn't believe, like, why am I doing this? It's not going to make any difference, kind of a thing. And then when he doesn't immediately wake up, she just assumes she failed and she walks away. And then slowly, everyone slowly peels out, but Ghost is just laying there asleep. And I'll tell you this, my mom was kind of creepy. Side note, while we were watching this episode, because she goes, watch. She goes, Ghost's head's gonna pop up when he comes back to life. And within a second, Ghost's head pops up and looks back towards the table. She goes, watch. He's gonna like gasp for air now. And next thing you know, of course, as is true with just about anybody who comes back to life in any movie ever, all of a sudden you just see the eyes close and then, and he looks like he's in a great panic. And then, of course, that's where the episode ended. As I said, it was freaking epic. Just about every scene was amazing. And then we get a flash to next episode. We know he's going to be sitting up, so it's not a fluke. We're going to get the Tower of Joy scene, which everyone who believes R plus L equals J will get either a confirmation of yes or no. Hopefully, if they don't dick around with it. So, yeah. Once again, line of the episode was Tyrion to Varys. If I ever get an idea like this again, punch me in the face. And my overall grade, I'm going to give this one a solid A. It had a little bit of everything, just enough of everything. I think. Just enough of everything. We got to see the dragons. We know that they're loose. We don't know if they've broken out of the area yet. We know that Jon Snow's back, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, I thought that wasn't going to happen until the third or fourth season, episode in the season." Me, it doesn't bother me, and it doesn't really surprise me that they brought him back at the end of the second, because with as hard as they were pushing, Jon Snow's dead, Jon Snow's dead, Jon Snow's dead, Jon Snow's dead, we all knew he was going to be coming back. Why drag it on when you can just boom, do it, and then he can continue to go do Jon Snow things. You know what I mean? So I give it a solid A, and I am super looking forward to next week, because I need to find out if because I'm very much on board with the R plus L equals J theory. I can't wait to find out if I am correct, or if they're going to just, be very cruel and not show us anything. With that said, if you like this review, please click that little red button down there that says subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and also lets you know when my next reviews or unboxings are done, because I do unboxings as well. Also, what did you guys think of the episode? What was your favorite scene? What was your favorite collection? You know, was it Tyrion and the dragons? Was it Arya and the waif? You know, what was your favorite scene? Um, you know, I love talking about my favorite shows, and I try my best to respond to every comment that I get. So yeah, leave me a comment, guys. With that said, I'll see you guys next week. Later, geeks.